Hello everybody, welcome back to the second episode of my multiplayer map Out of Bounds series. So, this is where we're going to be looking at about 3 maps every single video, and I will be showing some of the highlights and cool things that I uncovered while using a mod menu. I made this disclaimer last video, but please, if you have access to these mods, enjoy them responsibly. Let's not interfere with public lobbies and, make the people that still play this game pissed off or anything like that. Let's have some consideration for them, but alas, let's also enjoy it. So, let's get right with our first map, which will be Drone. Drone is one of the more packed maps when it comes to the Out of Bounds world, so I thought I'd actually show you guys quite a few things here. It was a fascinating experience to get to see it all again, to say the least. So close to the river spawn, there's all of these aircrafts with no collision to them whatsoever, but there is a little bit of detail here. You could see a lot of lines put into the road and everything like that. It's surprisingly pretty in-depth, and there's much more to uncover here too. Speaking of the river earlier, you can swim in it. If you know what you are doing, you can swim in it. Now keep in mind I have time scales on, which doubles the game speed overall, but as long as you are getting in the water correctly and you're looking up while doing so, I believe that's how it works, you will be able to actually swim. And you can gain a lot of speed, plenty of speed. Now again, keep in mind, like I said, time scales is on, so I'm actually moving twice as fast as I would normally, but no, this stuff is incredible. The fact that it actually functions is beyond belief to me in the best way possible. If you keep following the stream, you'll end up at some 2D textures rather than models, but even then, some really good touches there. On my way back, I gained a massive amount of speed. Even without time scales, this would still be really fast. And I did see that medieval structure in the trees there, but I wanted to check out where the river led first. As you may have saw before, the paths actually split. So if you go take a look at both of them, they eventually just end abruptly. But still, I love the river physics. I'm completely enthralled with them. There are a total of 3, I believe, structures like this, and this one has no collision whatsoever, but it's such an interesting piece of architecture compared to everything else in Drone that I figured I should talk about it. They each sort of have their own behavior compared to another, so taking a look at this one here, I was shocked. Yes, there is collision here, but not with the structure itself, it's just with the ground, but it's still really cool. I also decided to take a look at the power lines just to see if their resolution really changed, and along the way, I saw the bridge that connected the Drone Island and to what I would call the Temple Island, which had full collision. For some reason, I had a distant memory telling me it didn't, because I've been out here before, but no, it did. It had full functioning collision. I wanted to come take a look at what was happening inside the facility, behind the closed wall, and it's actually really cool stuff. So they add little wing pieces to extend the aerodynamic travel of this aircraft. At least that's the way I see it. And it's really cool because there's an entire cycle of animation that makes this work really well. So when I stumbled in behind everything that was going on, I found this little box that was in the ground. And it turns out that the aircraft will go back in there and the excess wings will be pushed to the side where it will repeat its animation once again. I wanted to see where the tunnel led as well, and don't expect too much here. It just goes on for a little while before it leads into the abyss. But I figured I'd answer that question of your curiosity anyways. Where does the tunnel go? Here's your answer. Absolutely nowhere. I oftentimes look at this rock here, and it's so eye-attracting because you look at the sheer size of it, and it's a monster. But if you're expecting collision, nah, not happening, pal. But I figured I'd offer you guys this view of almost the entire map, and Drone is packed with detail. You won't get this kind of view anywhere else. I love the Out of Bounds section of Drone. It's phenomenal. There's tons to do. Express is next on our list of maps to look at, and Express is actually really well packed too. I wouldn't say to the same likes as Drone because there's just so much to explore and walk on in Drone, whereas this is more fly up in the air and see it from a distance kind of thing, but even then, it's great. The first thing I wanted to do here is show you guys the train tunnels, of which the light only comes from the front and back of it. Other than that, it is completely pitch black. Here, I decided to play with the train a little bit, just to see how it would function with me in God mode and everything like that. I was very interested here, so I did it for quite a while. So interestingly enough, the train has a sort of lighting glitch where when it's inside, it will be illuminated until just before it comes out, where it will darken and then light up again as it comes out. So when you're normally playing Express, you can't really see the illumination glitch. It'll seem more normal to you because it's too far in for the player to see. I should also mention that the train will push you pretty far and quickly until you're out of its way. But if you look inside it, yeah, there's nothing going on here or anything like that. Just standard stuff. So when you are inside the tunnel and you want to send the train to get a glimpse of what it looks like as it's coming, you'll quickly notice that the train actually just has a spot in the tunnel where it teleports out of. And you can no-clip and come closer to it where you'll just see, yeah, it's just pulling out carts from that spot. So I want to use this opportunity to look at more of the outside things rather than the train mechanisms. And yeah, there's not a lot of collision out at this part of the map, but there is a lot to explore. So you can see that there's a lot of roads and vehicles and everything like that. And there's a bridge and everything. The world here is really well built, even if the resolution of a lot of the things we'll see later aren't very good. If you keep following the road, you'll notice that you have these low-resolution houses feeling entitled enough to block the highway, for whatever reason. I just thought it was pretty interesting, but you would not be able to catch this from the map itself. And the power plants on the side are really cool too, because I don't think you could see, you might be able to look at those in the map, but they would be a lot harder to find. Should you keep following the road, and you'll notice that the map begins to just disintegrate over time here. There's not a lot of collision or anything here, but I don't know what this is right here. I believe that might be part of the trail of water closer to the center of the map, but I don't know why it's out here so much. You wouldn't be able to see either of these. But I figured I'd direct our attention to this little city part right here. Yeah, it looks like Google Maps is on the ground. I have a feeling that's what they were going for with this, but yeah, there's surprisingly a lot of stuff here. Even if it is low resolution, it's definitely filled out, and it makes it feel more immersive. So good on Cherry for making such a lively space that would be super hard to even acknowledge. So the next thing I found was a parkade, and this part of the map is particularly funny. So you can actually see the parkade from the map, I believe, but that's not what we're here to talk about. There are houses here. For whatever inconceivable reason, there are houses here. Over here, which is on the right side of the map, keep in mind we went out and then left, now we're on the right, there's a lot of collision here. I was shocked at this. I don't know why there's collision here, not, say, at the front of it, like we just were before, but yeah, even though the cars don't have any behaviors here, and they are, say it with me, low resolution. I know you guys are tired of that word. Point is, though, they are ghost cars. You cannot touch them, you can't do anything with them, but at least they show bullet holes. So I tried to go back to the front of the map and immediately fell through. It didn't take any time at all. So I want to look at the faraway buildings that you can see from Express. I want to know what's going on over there. I'm sure most of you who clicked on this video would like to know that too. So let's take a look. So I want to take a look if it was possible to swim in the water underneath the bridge, and you can. And even if it doesn't look as clean as drone, it works, it functions, which is cool. But yeah, I found it difficult to swim in. However, that might be just the angle that I entered it at. As we head toward the back buildings, you'll notice that once again, we're in a field of all things low resolution, and we have the Google Maps on the road again, but that's here nor there. I have a couple of interesting things to show you, however. So, a couple buildings that are coming in upon us are, in fact, 2D. They are literally just images standing. That's all they are. However, the far buildings, the ones that catch your eyes when you're in the map itself, they are still 3D, but don't be surprised if they are. Yeah, you get it. So at this point, now it's just Google Maps and a couple 3D buildings, and then we're pretty much finished at this end of the map, but there's a lot to look at here. I mean, they still have a good amount of detail on them. Names, logos, advertisements, all of that. I love the little touches here. Over here, you can keep looking, and even though the resolution isn't great, still, the detail just continues to be pretty good. And then I noticed something. God forbid my eyes caught it. I saw that woman from Cargo again, and I thought to myself, there's no way. There's no way. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there is a way. For it is, yet again, Getty Images making a return. So you can take a gander up here and just see the full view of what surrounds Express. It's quite a beholding sight. There's just so much life going on in the map itself, and yet what you can access normally is such a small fraction of it all. It really speaks to how creative and detailed Treyarch is when it comes to designing their environments. And then you take a look at where we just came from, and even then, it looks so detailed itself. The last place I wanted to show you guys is what's going on down here. And there's a lot of personality here, although my timer ran out, and the reason why I put on a timer in this map is because of the train, but I forgot the mod menu could even have you send it. However, yeah, just to get a nice little peek of this area, there's a lot going on here. It's really nice and everything. A lot of detail put here, so much personality. This is Express. I love Express. Its aesthetic is great, and it's a great map altogether. It's a shame that Hijacked won't have much spotlight here, but because it's so isolated and in the middle of nowhere, you can't expect much for Out of Bounds secrets. First thing I did was take a look at the helicopter and see if there's anything about it that stuck out to me. And surprisingly, the platform it's on doesn't have collision, but the top of it does. And that might just be the ceiling barrier for Hijacked, but I could be wrong. I like seeing what's behind hypothetical doors. What would be in behind a door you cannot access, and here is literally nothing, but I can move around pretty freely, which is cool. I do like that a lot. I did the same thing on the other side of the ship, and there was a lot less movement here, but there was a couple inclines that I was able to climb up onto. So the sailboat does look nice, not a whole lot going on. It is at a good resolution too, I believe, but feast your eyes on Hijacked itself. It's a really nice view, even though it makes you feel really lonely and isolated. Still such a nice map, and the lighting in this map is done impeccably well. The last thing I want to talk about was the island, which there isn't much here. It's just low resolution stuff, with it fading as it gets higher, probably to give the optical illusion that the island is further away than what it actually is. But it is still a nice accompanying asset to Hijack, so I gotta give it that. But if you turn around here, you get such a beautiful view of Hijacked, even though we're about to get a glare within a few seconds. A big glare. Yep, there it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video again. I'm really happy to keep making these episodes for you guys. They're a lot of fun. It's really interesting just to see what Treyarch does behind closed doors, if you will. I don't want to make it sound too scary, but yes, once again, hope you enjoyed. Please have yourself an amazing day. Take care for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.